everybody. My name is Jeff Szabo, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Cape. Well, I decided to go remote to do this particular episode, decided to change things up a bit. I'm going to do my review of Captain Marvel. My goodness gracious. It is an incredible movie. It is a great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Brie Larson does an incredible job playing the role. I have to admit, after reading some of the comics, I was just kind of curious as to how exactly they were going to pull this one off. They did an incredible job. You're going to be sitting there doing this a little bit at the beginning just because with how they start off the movie and how they progress, they do go a little bit slower, and it's not really, it's an origin story, but they kind of do it in a different way or tell it in a different way. So give it some time, really just kind of relax, kick back a little bit, and then just see how everything plays out. There are going to be a couple of instances in which you're going to be doing this, going, okay, what are they trying to portray? What are they trying to present? Give it time. It is well worth it in the end. Annette Bening does a great job as Mar-Vell in the movie. Jude Law does a great job as well. They do introduce the Skrulls, which obviously a very iconic set of characters within the comics. You know, at one point I think they were trying to get the Skrulls in the first Avengers movies, but they couldn't really get the rights to them. But with the way that they introduce them and the way that they present them throughout the story really adds some key elements to the plot line. I really like how they added them in, and I really like how they use them to progress the story later on. They introduce a lot of other key elements that you do see throughout the other parts of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not going to give any spoilers away, so just kind of be patient, just kind of relax a little bit, and just kind of watch the film as it plays out. I try not to give many spoilers with this, you know, in these segments. But just kind of give the film some time. Once it gets heated up, it is really incredible to watch. It has a great 1990s soundtrack. For those of you who grew up in the 90s with some pretty good music, the grunge music, you're going to be pretty happy with the soundtrack in this one. And they do a pretty good job setting it up and answering some questions that were in Avengers Infinity, and they're also setting it up for Avengers Endgame. So keep that in mind as you're watching this film as well, as they are going to introduce some elements and kind of answer some questions you may have had as to how they're going to introduce some key plot lines for Avengers Endgame. Overall, it is very enjoyable to watch. It's funny seeing Nick Fury as a younger version, Agent Coulson, coming back, as I believe, even though he's been on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is the first film he has been in since the first Avengers film that came out in 2012. So keep that in mind. The film does take place in the 1990s, 1995, so to speak. So make sure to keep that in mind. It serves as a prequel to not only Avengers Endgame, but also some of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies as well. And brush up on the characters from those movies. They do introduce some of them in there. Well, that is going to do it for this in-depth review of Captain Marvel. Go out and see it. And I'm going to finish up my Starbucks right now, courtesy of the super duper folks at the Starbucks in Twinsburg. I am Jeff Szabo. Thanks for watching Behind the Cape. We're going to see you at the movies.